Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another commentary done. Well, I guess this is the start of the next bracket, tiebreaker, which actually I corrected it here. I don't know that the left-hand side is fully accurate, but I think it's mostly accurate. There were a lot of withdrawals here and there, and therefore there is a need for tiebreakers. And unfortunately, I don't have every single tiebreaker, but this is what's going to set us up for the round of 12. I will say Wizard, Lancer, Worst are in pretty good spot. Wizard has already advanced, still definitely advanced in the top 4, but as far as some of the the guys that have won 2 games, there's questions as to where they'll be in standing as far as anything moving forward, and there's just a bunch of other stuff with it. There's a bunch of action, so we got some withdrawals that are also going to be affecting everything. So point being, we got some extra games to cast. The replays I have from the tiebreaker, Nesh versus White, that should be an exciting one. We also have Aegis versus Pauline. Let's go ahead and dive into these ones as soon as the black screen goes away. Upper left-hand corner, we got Aegis starting as the brown Zerg. Bottom left-hand corner, we got Pauline starting as the magenta Zerg. I'm rooting a little bit for Aegis, just because Team USA. I hate to see ZVZ in this scenario, mostly because, and I gotta say, I think I favor Pauline overall, but I hate to see ZVZ in this scenario, mostly because I want to see more Zerg advance, not get eliminated. And I think this might, I do believe whoever wins this advances and whoever loses this is eliminated. I think I am going to favor Pauline, however, on a raw skill to skill level. Mostly, Pauline hit a lot of tough matches running his way through, and I think Aegis ran into... I feel like the quality of player that Aegis ran into wasn't as strong as Pauline. That's not to say that they weren't strong, but I'm thinking back at the games, and they were really hard fought on Pauline's side. Where I remember Aegis making some critical blunders here and there. Could be wrong on that. We're starting off, do I have the map right? I think I have it listed as knockout. All right, we're gonna black screen this for a half second while I get this updated properly. This isn't knockout, this looks like Metropolis. Bear with me, you guys. I got this like scoreboard thing in the background that takes me a minute to, okay, there we go. Okay, now hopefully it'll fade back in, fade back out. Overlord opener on both ends. It looks like we're dead even as far as the minerals are coming in basically identically. And are both players going to open up with 12? Interesting. So 12 pool on both ends, or 12 hatch down here for Pauline. It looks like Pauline's going to opt for a 12 hatch. Aegis is opting for 12 pool. Usually so standard ZVZ logic suggests that this is going to be favorable towards Pauline, but I am going to say the faster gas, more often than not, I've seen more Zerg win games off faster gas and faster layer than alternatives. But I will say this Overlord being able to encroach into Aegis's base and get earlier scouting information is going to be absolutely huge for him. In the meantime, spawning pool and extractor dropping, and the hatchery going to be somewhat later here from Aegis. Aegis potentially, so more often than not, when you're opening up 12 hatch or 11 hatch or even 9 hatch, you're going to want to field use that early game larva advantage in the form of Zerglings. So you're delaying that layer potentially because you're delaying that gas out. But what you get more of is larva in the early game, the ability to expend those larva. And that usually means you're turning them into Zerglings right off the bat. Granted, you do have the option to kind of fold back to evolution chamber, etc. But anyway, point being, a lot of Zerglings are going to be on the field early. Pauline's actually up 2 drones as well. Are we seeing Zergling speed first? Zergling speed first from Aegis. Oh, and that could actually hurt him a little bit. Because again, I feel like the sizable advantage of getting gas first over your opponent is the ability to go layer. And instead, Pauline's actually going to end up with a faster layer because of that investment in Zergling speed. And interestingly enough, Aegis is in the dark as well. So now this is turning into potentially a build order loss for him, where he's going to be down Zerglings, he's going to be down economy, and he's effectively going to be down tech as well, which is absolutely brutal. Layer morphing not so much later, but really it's going to be those 2 drones and just the more larva on the field that are going to be the big advantages for Aegis. Overlord's making the way across. Single Zergling making its way in for Aegis to go ahead and get the scout. And Zergling speed does allow the Zerglings to move across the map more rapidly and just more intelligently. They just seem to attack better in the space of this, but I don't... this is a full additional hatchery. I mean, we already see a sizable supply lead, and that should continue. Also, this is a close reinforcement point as well. for Pauline. Also, he's got the Overlord. He's got all sorts of advantages right here, is what I'm trying to say. He's also scouting the fact that that layer is a lot later. Spire plopping down. He also got a good look at the sheer Zergling count on Aegis' side. Still up a drone right this second. Theoretically, what this will turn into is a faster Overlord kill on Aegis's, maybe even definitely one. I don't think he's going to be able to get two. These Zerglings are fanning out, and I don't see any additional Zerglings scooting around trying to find the position of that additional Overlord right this moment. Aegis is trailing that Overlord because he hasn't actually pushed in to verify the layer timing. Pauline making his way out. He's going to have Zergling speed as well. Better surface area for Aegis right this second. One way Pauline could definitely drop the ball here is by aggressing into Aegis's territory, ending up with a pile of Zerglings in the wrong position, and ending up with a really bad trade. It's better for him to just walk back and make the Zergling conga line here at the natural expansion and just wait for that Spire to complete. Make sure he has Larva as well to go ahead and drop that. It looks like he's got a few additional drones that he snuck out. Aegis is now on the move. If he is going to be victorious, this is really the time frame where he needs to make it happen. Are we going to see one Zergling gets picked off, an Evolution Chamber on the front to create a bit of clutter? I think that's going to work against Pauline more than it works against Aegis, though. Yeah, it looks like better surface area. Pauline's still in a pretty good spot, though. He still has plenty of Zerglings in the midst of this. I'm a little bit confused why he's dropping the Evolution Chamber, to be honest. There's the cancellation. I think he was just trying to bait Aegis. The fact that Aegis didn't see the Overlord and make it look like he didn't in fact have the faster tech. But in the meantime, he is not built. Okay, he is getting the Mutalisk here at the natural expansion, and we do have at least a Mutalisk constructing, but effectively you've got multiple drones. So most of the Zerglings have been expanded. You got Mutalisks that are going to hatch momentarily. Pauline does need to hold the ramp right here. It'd be if he oh man, lost the ramp. Now all of a sudden you got a lot of Zerglings in the main. Might be able to equalize the drone count. Drones are going to have to defend themselves, so a bit of interruption in mining. And also interruption in gas, the drone actually getting a snipe. Okay, that's finally cleaned up. Some Zerglings are working on that natural expansion. It looks like they're going to get cleared out. Okay, theoretically from here it's a stranglehold, though, because you've got a 4-drone lead. You've got the natural expansion up more rapidly. The Zerglings should get cleaned up. Oh, never mind, one drone falling right there. You got enough Mutalisks on the field where they should be able to deal with the Zerglings summarily, and they're going to start working another Overlord drifting in for Aegis, which is a disaster. Absolute disaster. All he has to do, and oh, that was just a micro mistake. Zergling getting caught on the corner. More, that is going to open up the Zerglings to flood and maybe get another shot here. One of them working on the hatchery over here. This is also giving, oh, the Scourge going to be able to hit? No, nice micro on Pauline. The natural expansion is taking some shots. And Aegis doing what he can, but honestly, I think where's that I think that Overlord must have been spotted. Yeah, and Pauline sees it. That's going to put Aegis in the red, at which point we're not going to see any more shenanigans. Single Zergling kind of dashing out in the field. He has managed to get up to 14 drones. He's not dropped an Evolution Chamber himself to try to make the best of it. Second gas getting dropped from Pauline. Mutalisks are spreading everywhere, feeling very confident in their position, although they need to be a little bit wary, because if they spread out too far, that does open up a potential attack from Aegis to dive on lone Mutalisk. But I'm not sure it'll make that big a difference, especially after that second gas is in place. The Zergling able to run back in is going to get a decent amount of scouting information. The drones should be able to defend themselves against this. At least a little bit of interrupted mining has happened for Aegis, and now we got 8 Mutalisks. How many do we have on the opposite side? 8 versus 4 post the supply cap. 17 workers versus 14. Aegis is getting that extractor up, but the Mutalisks are on the move, fanning out, making sure nothing was kind of snuck. We have 2 Overlords in the upper right hand corner right this second, and Pauline is going to be able to get some free drones if he can micro into it, and he can basically force a fight. He's drawing back, but maybe not clicking on the pile. Maybe a little bit concerned about close spawn Scourge. Also potentially recognizing that maybe he doesn't recognize where he's at in the overall match. Some Zerglings making the way across. He basically, by pulling out of that, he handed the Mutalisk lead over to Aegis briefly, at least as far as close encounter. More Mutalisks making their way up. Does he have the focus fire? The drone's also getting interrupted as the Zerglings run underneath. It doesn't look like it matters because Pauline's focus fire was just vastly superior in those fights as the drone. It looks like the attention went to Aegis microing underneath. So Pauline comfortably going to win game 1 and we'll move into game 2. Aegis's tournament life on the line here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for listening.